Okay, welcome. My name is Carl Johann Schroeder, and I am running this meetup called Inner Selves for Outer Mastery. I'm a spiritual teacher and a life coach by passion, by purpose. This is what I love to do. This is what I'm meant to do. I was actually a career computer professional for decades. That was the day job as I was working out how to apply my inner being, my inner world, that I did have a spiritual awakening after college that tuned me into just how amazing the universe really is, how much it loves us, how much it provides for us. And then it was a matter of how do I apply this to the outer world. So we're going to talk today about how to be happy again, 4 steps to leaving negative realities forever. Which means really 4 steps to creating your positive reality, your positive life, your destiny. And so there's a lot of emphasis in 2025 in my topics, what other people may talk about, and how to leave negativity. And that's coming up obviously because of what's going on in the world today. This is the ascension times. Ascension means that you learn to become the creator inside the creation. You are not just, at the mercy of whatever higher forces planned your life before you were born. You are actually deciding as you go along. So you are in charge, and you need to learn how you are in charge. There's a lot of talk in spiritual traditions that you have all the answers you need inside of you. Yes, you do, but you also have to learn how to use those answers. So anybody who goes around saying like, I am God, I know it all, they don't know it all. The point is that it's a balance of 2 worlds. On one hand, you are continually creating and designing your life. On the other hand, you don't have to worry that you have to make the world work. It already works. There's already a world out there. There's already a universe that is completely functional, and you're an important part of it. So you don't have to try to make things happen, which is part of the domination culture we'll talk about. The big contrast we need to understand between the old paradigm, the old system that said, you've got to make things happen, otherwise the default is that you're going to fail, you're going to be alone, you're going to be lost, you're going to be abandoned, whatever. Just awful things. And obviously that's about the negativity. All these beliefs, all these ideas that say somehow you will lose by default, you have to force your way into the world, you have to make the world work for you. And there are a lot of people who are getting as far as they can in that domination culture. And we see that in the world today. We see a certain number of people who are willing to be, the absolutely conscienceless, without a conscience, people who are dominating, who are going to control the world as much as they can. Then we see a large number of people who are willing to follow those kind of people, who are willing to put their beliefs, their energy into the idea that the world could and should be dominated. And then we see a lot of people like us here now who know that like this system is broken. What's the real way to function? How do we really work with the universe? Because as I said, the real universe already exists. You are an important part of it. In fact, you are the entire universe in a certain form. This is something important we need to understand. You're not just like a small fish in a big pond trying to get bigger. You are actually the pond. You are everything. And this is why they talk about you have all the answers inside of you. You are learning how to use those answers from the position of being a human being. You are the entire universe in your current form, in your current personality, expressing yourself as you. Think of it as like you are backed by the entire universe that's guiding you. What's the best right thing to do in every situation? That is love. Learning how to love, learning how to do your contribution. How do you contribute to life? How do you contribute to the flourishing of a wonderful, healthy, happy world? And that is expressed through the human experience. So we have these 2 sides of ourselves that we need to make peace with and understand. And we're going to talk a lot today about these 4 steps to empowerment. They involve very much so the working together of your 2 parts of yourself. So one part is the energetic spiritual side, and that is eternal. That part of you that is always available, connected to the universe, can express, can find your way of loving, your contribution, because you need to find your way of loving. Love is definitely about finding what it is within you that would perfectly add to the current situation, that is what is needed. There's a collaboration, a synergy effect of beings that work together, knowing they are representatives of the universe. Maybe that's another good word for it. You are an agent. You are a representative of the entire universe. And the entire universe is acting through you, calling to you, telling you exactly what to do to prosper, to thrive, to help other people to be happy and healthy too. We need to stay in touch with that part of ourselves. And that is the spiritual part. That is energy. That is pure pattern. Love is a pattern. Love is not a thing. You can't hold something and say, this is love. Love is a pattern. It's how everything can work. Life is full of patterns. Energy is about patterns of how things work. So the most universal pattern is that of love. So we'll talk more about this. Love, my thumbnail definition is the ability and the willingness to help someone that you care about to have a wonderful life. So very important to notice there's ability and willingness involved in love. It has to be something you're able to do, and it has to be something you're willing to do. So ability, we always all have an ability to contribute something wonderful and positive to a situation to help it thrive more. That is your inherent worth. That is your inherent goodness. You are always good enough. Negative false belief systems will make you feel that you're not good enough, will block your understanding of what it is that you're able to do in a situation. Positive beliefs are the ones that say the things that I'm talking about right now, and the things that we resonate with, the things that we seek more echoing validation, more forms of understanding on the spiritual path, that you are a divine creator being, that you have a great value to contribute to every situation, and that is part of your eternal consciousness, your eternal life, your spiritual energy. Now, the other part of you is the human side, and that is sort of, think of it as like your spiritual side from a distance saw Earth. It's like, okay, Earth is this combination of the way things work. And the way things work, that is belief systems. Beliefs are your models of the universe, how the universe works, your expectations, the way, when people talk about, I needed to just reframe this, I needed to come at this from a different approach. When we talk about reframing a situation, when we talk about changing our attitude, when we talk about finding a new paradigm, believing in ourselves, all of that, that's all about the belief systems. You have these internal models of how the world works. And that is what you, as a spiritual eternal being, looked at the Earth system from a distance and said, wow, what a beautiful planet. Look at all those amazing creatures, all those amazing people and these different tribes. Yeah, there's a lot of conflict down there, but boy, I'd love to be a part of that. So as an eternal, spiritual, energetic being, you decided to start incarnating in the Earth system. So as a creator, you created, with the universe backing you up, the full faith and force of the universe backing you up, you created a human life with the Earth helping you. Everybody's contributing. The Earth gives you a body. Your family gives you however much nurturing they gave you, enough to survive at least, right? Where there's life, there's hope. Most of us didn't have anything like a perfect childhood. And certainly, even if you had a decent childhood, sooner or later you grow up to realize like the world is full of dangerous, scary stuff. But you survived. And survival, that's what people get hyper-focused on. Survival is just the first step. Survival is just making sure that your human being stays in the game, that you have a character in the simulation. People used to talk about how reality is an illusion or a kind of dream, and it is. But I also like how, with a lot of technology these days, one of the great values of technology, besides getting a few things done, yes, but the real value of technology is that it's illustrating principles of how things can work. And that's energy. Energy is patterns of how things work, whereas Material forms, objects, physical things, those are just particular instances of how things work. And you know that things, objects, can break down or they can stop functioning. But the eternal energy pattern, that's always there. You can come back into an alignment with love even when you make a mistake. Love always forgives. Love always calls you back home. So you always have an ability to love. And your spiritual being knows your ability to love. Your spiritual being knows your purpose. That's when you get into a flow of your passion, what you love to do, and you can feel yourself. I'm in the right place at the right time. I'm called to do these things. I need to do this. You just feel it, and you find your audience. You find those people who want to receive what you have to offer. So that's the ability to love. There's also the willingness to love. You need to be willing to offer what it is that you have inside of yourself. And so negative beliefs, which create reality through the experience of those beliefs. Remember, beliefs are the way we think that the world works. Negative false beliefs will say, first of all, that you have no ability to love, you have no business, you have nothing to offer. Let us tell you what to do. And then you get into all this earned deserving concepts in the domination culture. There's all these beliefs that you're a nobody unless you have the right job, unless you have the right relationship, and all this kind of stuff. When really it's the reverse. It's like you are the one who's making a job right and perfect. You are the one who is contributing to a relationship. You're the one who has the magic inside of you that can make a situation with your love, with your contribution, come alive. But the second part of loving is the willingness. You could know that you could do something wonderful to help people and still not be willing. Why would somebody not be willing? Again, because of the false belief systems. The negative false beliefs, the basis of negativity, is trying to discourage you from being and doing what you have to offer. So you see a lot of people in the world, an obvious example is the billionaires, the oligarchs. They're trying to take over. They have more than enough money to be happy, to have whatever material comforts they need. They have more than enough money to help people, to fix things, to make the world a better place. And yet they're fixated on getting more money, getting more control. They don't even care. They will lie, cheat, steal. They will hurt people just to get more money, to get more power. False power, not real power. Real power is the power of loving. Real power is the power of being yourself, being your true self, who can just flow with the ability to love, to give what you have to give, and to know that that fits in with the universe so that you're willing to do it. What we're seeing today in the world is people struggling with false belief systems that tell them they're worthless, they have nothing to offer. And secondly, that even if they have something to offer, they can't possibly offer it because they need it. They first need more control. A lot of the super rich people in the world, they may well have a good part of themselves that thinks, someday I'll use my money for good. But first, I'm so obsessed with control and insecurity because they're not tapped into the universe. If you're not tapped into who you really are, you're not tapped into your part of the universe, your form of the universe, you will be eternally insecure. You will constantly be hyper-focused in your human form, trying to get more things, thinking things make you secure. Things alone don't make you secure. It's how you use things. It's your functioning. It's being tapped into who you really are, the gift of you that is needed in so many situations. So when you're a real person following your real energy, you are guided naturally by your inner being, by your higher self, by your soul, many names for it and many different forms of it. But basically, your part of the universe, your form of the universe will guide you where you need to be to give what you have to give and to be willing and happy to do so, to feel confident and secure that I am safe to do what I need to do. For a simple example, it's here I am. This is what I love to do. This is my passion. And I'm still, as a human being, I can have my days of challenge. I won't so much use the word struggle, but certainly challenging times where I wonder, I really want to teach about the universe. I really love to learn about how the universe works. This is my role. This is what I offer people. And I remember people who say, like, Carl, that was really helpful. We really love what you do. But what's the next step? What do I do to be secure? You know, we can all get trapped in these thinking of like, well, someday I could do all these wonderful things. But right now, what do I do to, I don't know, get to work, to make some money, to get that person to smile at me, to get them to be happy with me? How do I make the scary headlines go away? How do I make the bad stuff in the world go away? How do I make my obsessive thinking of how things are coming to get me and how my life is going to go off a cliff, it's going to end soon? How do I get those thoughts under control? There's so much that is upsetting and disturbing to our natural flow. And it all comes from the false negative belief systems. So I have been talking a lot for years, really, but especially this year, 2025, about false beliefs versus true beliefs, about the negative beliefs versus the positive beliefs, because we really need to understand that is the focal point of creating reality. Think about it. If you don't believe in yourself, if you don't believe that you have something worthwhile to offer, if you don't believe that even if you have something you really value, but you need to believe that there are people out there who really need it, who are waiting for you, and that to believe that they have something to offer you too, so that there's a reciprocity of belonging together, of communities that support each other. You need to believe all these positive beliefs to let it flow, to let yourself just be who you are. If you don't have those kind of beliefs, if you have beliefs that say negative, false things about how you don't fit in anywhere, that nobody wants what you have to offer, that you're going to die soon, that you got to scramble to survive, you will stay in a survival mode. And that's the real danger, is that people get fixated and stuck in a survival mode. They're so hyper-focused on, like, I feel so scared, I feel so worried that I'm going to die soon. I've just got to keep doing whatever it is that accumulates that helps to guarantee my survival, my continuing existence. So, but money's not going to do it. Influence isn't going to do it. Anything having to do with the external reality is not your source of security. Your source of security is internal. So we're going to talk today about how to be happy with 4 steps of empowerment, 4 steps of creatorship that are really, really profound. There are many ways that I could have titled this meeting. I could have focused on the empowerment, and I would have done that perhaps last year when, it was more fashionable to just talk about, like, life is okay and we just need to focus on how to be, more powerful, successful, creative, happy. But 2025 is increasingly a year where we're just trying to survive. It's really getting scary out there. It is already a scary year in which we see a lot of societies that are turning more toward the control, how to control reality, how to amass more guarantees of your survival. People are becoming cutthroat, and those of us who believe in love and believe in cooperation, believe that the earth can be an abundant, beautiful place, we can feel very powerless. We can feel really scared. It's very important to not hyper-focus on controlling that reality. So we're going to talk about how reality really works. That reality is really, you've heard of law of attraction. It's how you run your own life, your patterns of energy. They show up in the people you meet, in the people that you read about, that you see in the world. Everyone that you meet is just an example of how to run the energy, the patterns of lifestyle. And so you just see what's happening in the world and you process that internally to connect more with your source. You always have the answers inside of you. You can always be happy. Happiness is having your human needs met. So getting your needs met at a survival level, and even more to go into the second chakra of the joy of being in communities and creating together. That's why I'm wearing the color orange today. I want to emphasize the happiness, the joy of, many of us know the chakra systems. Red is associated with the first chakra. That's just raw survival. And second chakra is about the joy of communities and co-creating and being able to work with nature and each other to thrive in the love that we have to offer each other. So that is what we need to understand, that is so much more real than any examples out here of dysfunction. So yes, take the examples of dysfunction in the world seriously. See the various people who are doing things that you know are really negative and destructive. But don't worry that they're going to come get you. They don't have to directly affect you. Take those examples inside and work, as we'll talk about, on building your own connection to your own internal source, your own internal universe, empowering yourself. That's the true nature of reality, that reality is a feedback system to keep improving your connection to your own personal source, your higher self, your soul, and then you will be secure, you will be happy, and beyond happy, happy is when your needs are met as a human being. When your preferences are met, when your preferences are met as a spiritual being who came here to do certain things, to offer certain gifts, then you have joy. So when your body is healthy, you are happy. When your spirit is functioning and flowing with what you have to give, what you have to offer in the world, your love, then you're in the joy. Body and spirit working together can be happy and joyful and healthy, and very rapidly the world can change around you. So all of this scary stuff in 2025, it can go away very quickly. Don't underestimate how quickly the universe can change. You know that it can change for the worse. We have all these negative beliefs that say it's going to fall apart any second. We don't have so many beliefs that say it's going to come together any second. It's going to all work out. It's going to be fine. But hopefully today you'll get more of the understanding of how it works so that you will feel more confident. I can build my own internal connection to my source. I can empower myself with these 4 steps we're going to talk about. And I'm going to be okay. You're going to be okay. You're going to be more than okay. The future is very bright indeed. We're just working through a dark period here. Okay, so that was my inspired introduction to the topic. Let's do a sharing time. Okay, I'm going to describe now the format that we use for the check-ins, for the sharings. I encourage you to pause the recording and do this for yourself because it's going to help you to center, ground, and balance your energy in this challenging subject material. And then I'll be sharing some highlights from the conversation we had based on the check-ins. So for the sharing time, it's nice to say your name and where you're calling from. And then if you like, to align your 4 bodies. You have 4 bodies, 4 levels of human experience. Just say a little something about how you're doing physically, that's your physical body, emotionally, how your feelings have been, mentally, your thoughts, and spiritually, your inspirations, your values and inspirations. Say a little something. We can all relate to it. And be honest. It's good to be honest, and this is a safe place to share with people. So how are you doing physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually? And then whatever questions, comments, ideas you have on this topic of can we leave negativity forever? Can we actually self-guarantee our happiness?
What you said, about money, power, these things are not, the true way.
Thank you. Yeah, let me take it back up. I mean, because there's nothing wrong with going into the gory details of life. It's about understanding how that reconnects with the spiritual truth. So the fact is that yes, we see these really bad players in the world, but you look deeper and you start to have compassion of like, these are really mentally, emotionally ill people who had childhood wounds, damage. Like you can start to feel sorry for them and you have compassion, but then there's still this nagging issue of like, but they have power, they can destroy my life. That's where we need to take the reflection. We need to realize like, okay, look at these examples and these people in the world that are running their lives so badly. It's obvious that they're not the way to go. So why are they in my life? Why am I scared of them? Oh, because he has so much power. If it weren't for the money, nobody would pay attention to these people. They'd be in a psychiatric hospital where they belong, right? It's just the money. Just because of the money that everybody says, oh my gosh, you must have done something right. You've got a bunch of money. Or even if you got the money by bad means, like, well, now you have the money, so we got to follow the money. We got to obey the money. And of course, then they're obsessed with making more money because that's what gave them the clout, the authority to stay out of the psych hospital where they belong. I mean, so this is where we need to take the reflection and work on our own issues. Where do I believe that money is the most important power in my life? Start working on the so-called shadow work, changing our own personal beliefs that will then disconnect us from those people out there that think that money is all that matters. the more we think about how money is really just one of the many ways that the universe supplies and supports me. The fact is that you are an incredibly valuable part of the universe. You are a form of the universe, and you have divine gifts to give. And the universe loves nothing more than to supply you with whatever you need. So money can't buy you love. Money can't buy you influence. Well, maybe it can buy you some influence, but money can't buy you so many things. The universe wants to give you everything you really need, not just the money. So all these fantasies, and I've had plenty of them. If I just had enough money, I'd be happy. Just had enough money, I'd be secure. If I just have enough money, then I could do all the other things. And I realized I got to stop thinking that way. I got to start doing all those other things and appreciating wealth in a much bigger way than just money. Wealth is the health I have. Wealth is the friend who wants to talk with me about something that's important. Wealth is the ideas I get on where to go and the creativity. Wealth is like whatever supports you in your flow, in your functioning to be more of the person you really want to be. So have an expanded sense of wealth, and that will immediately start disconnecting you from all the people in the world who are clearly extremely dysfunctional, and all they have going for them is the money. So yes, it is a challenge. It is the big challenge to understand how we can have compassion for these people who cause so much pain and suffering, but also to disconnect ourselves from the beliefs that we have to follow through on a painful reality. We don't have to follow through. There are ways that we can get out of this. And I just wanted to offer to you your empathy is fantastic, and your emotions are fantastic. We need to learn to trust our emotions. Feel your emotions, but don't necessarily act upon them, react upon them in the negative way. We see all these people getting angry, but anger is fine in itself. It can help us to focus on what is broken, what needs to change. But then to turn that anger into rage and violence and all that, that's the disconnect. That's where it turns negative. So I applaud you for your empathy, for the emotions. I would just encourage you to take small bites and work it through with yourself to get to the deeper truth, so that you can follow the news just as much as you need to, because we don't want to go the other direction of just tuning it all out. That would serve the dictators. Part of the plan of negative people is to overwhelm us so that we just tune out, we just give up, and we let them do whatever they want. We need to stay engaged, and to do that, we need to work through our emotions and get in touch with the inner guidance so that we can find what it is we have to contribute to every situation. So hang in there, and thank you for being a caring person.